A cheap performance car is incredibly easy to buy and painfully difficult to own. That low asking price usually hides a repair bill waiting to happen. What looks like a fun daily driver quickly turns into an expensive project when you inherit years of cheap tires, ignored fluid changes, and questionable engine tunes from the previous owner. Some sports cars are fantastic on a weekend run, but if they are too stiff or temperamental to survive ordinary stop-and-go traffic, you end up needing a second vehicle just to commute. It is tempting to grab a low-kilometer vehicle covered in aftermarket modifications, but a completely standard car with higher, well-documented kilometers is almost always the safer, more reliable choice. Before you fall in love with a car's look, check your local laws. A model that is perfectly legal and affordable for one driver might be heavily restricted by P-plate rules or ruinously expensive to insure for another. So we are shifting the focus. Rather than ranking pure horsepower, this countdown evaluates the return on investment for your daily drive. We are looking at usability, parts availability, and genuine enjoyment on normal, congested public roads. The 5 cars on this list provide that enjoyment without demanding supercar running costs. But they only work if you match their specific practical compromises to your actual daily routine. Finding the right vehicle means letting go of the track-ready project fantasy and hunting down a meticulously maintained standard example. We begin at number 5, the second-generation Kia Cerato Koup. It gives you distinct two-door styling, but keeps the practical, reliable foundations of a mainstream small hatchback. This scorecard highlights the core engine trade-off. Choosing the naturally aspirated 2-liter engine means sacrificing the outright speed of the 1.6-liter turbo, but you avoid the long-term wear, extra heat, and boost complications that come with it. It has a perfectly usable boot, but there are compromises. The long coupe doors are highly vulnerable in narrow car parks, and getting passengers into the back requires folding the front seats forward. When inspecting one, start the engine cold. Direct injection engines produce a normal ticking sound, but you need a specialist to ensure that noise isn't masking abnormal knocking or timing chain stretch. The strict rule for the coupe is to buy the standard 2-liter version. Only consider a turbo model if its maintenance history, insurance costs, and the previous owner's driving habits have been exhaustively verified. Number 4 is the Honda CR-Z. This isn't an exceptionally fast car. Its appeal lies in its compact dimensions, sharp steering, low seating, and the immediate assistance you get from the electric motor. Looking at the transmission options on our matrix, the manual provides genuine driver engagement. The CVT option is far easier in heavy traffic, but it requires strict verification of the correct Honda fluid to ensure it doesn't shudder upon engagement. You must have a Honda specialist scan the hybrid battery before buying. If that battery is heavily degraded, the car will continue to move, but your performance and fuel efficiency will severely suffer. The practicality trade-off here is severe. The rear seats offer extreme discomfort for adults. They are much better treated as an extension of the luggage space than actual passenger accommodation. The CR-Z is an engaging, economical commuter for a single driver or a couple, but never hand over your money without a verified scan of the hybrid system. Number 3. The Suzuki Swift Sport follows a brilliantly simple formula. It pairs a light 5-door body with a rev-happy, naturally aspirated 1.6-liter engine. As the scorecard shows, this engine requires high revs rather than producing turbocharged low-speed torque. That encourages you to aggressively use the preferred manual gearbox without constantly threatening your license at extreme road speeds. However, a light car is highly susceptible to hidden damage. You need to inspect closely for evidence of repeated curb strikes, harsh track use, and poorly installed aftermarket coilovers that ruin the factory handling. When testing the manual gearbox, ensure it shifts cleanly both hot and cold. Pay close attention to synchro wear when moving into second and third gear, and check for clutch slipping under full throttle acceleration. Your buying rule here is to prioritize a standard manual car with straight bodywork and quality tires. It remains one of the absolute best ways to make an ordinary commute highly entertaining. Number 2 is the third-generation Mazda MX-5. Often called the NC, its slightly larger footprint and heavier weight actually make it the easiest older MX-5 to use as a daily driver. The matrix shows the obvious compromise: very low practicality. The cabin is narrow, storage is minimal, and there are exactly 2 seats. You must physically sit in the car to confirm the driving position fits your daily routine. Roof integrity is critical. Soft top drains easily block over time, directing rain straight into the cabin. You have to check beneath the carpets and directly behind the seats for lingering dampness. Under the bonnet, pay strict attention to the plastic coolant expansion tank and hoses. A failed, aging plastic tank will cause immediate overheating and severe engine damage. It provides the purest sports car experience on this list, but you have to buy strictly on body condition, roof sealing, and cooling system health. Never buy one just because you like the paint color or aftermarket wheels. The #1 daily driver is the first-generation Toyota 86. As this matrix details, it wins by blending genuine rear-wheel drive dynamics with the practicality of a fixed roof, rear seats, and a highly usable boot. Folding those rear seats flat drastically increases your luggage capacity, but don't plan on carrying adults back there. They are entirely unsuitable for a daily commute. Because the handling is so accessible, the buying risk is massive. You must aggressively inspect the car for drifting abuse. Look for heavily worn rear tires, mismatched wheels, or a damaged rear suspension. On early models, you also need exact VIN documentation proving the valve spring recall was properly completed, and a mechanic should inspect the quality of the engine reassembly to ensure nothing was botched. The ultimate rule for the 86 is to prioritize a standard condition vehicle with a perfectly clean accident history over low kilometers. Walk away instantly from cheap tunes and extreme exhaust setups. Directing attention to the checklist. To lock in the right car, follow this final checklist. First, obtain an insurance quote and verify your local P-plate restrictions before you ever schedule a vehicle inspection. Second, insist on starting the car from a completely cold state and drive it until it is fully warm. This is the only way to expose hidden clutch slipping, rough transmission shifts, and cooling system leaks. Third, interrogate every modification. Ask who installed it, why they fitted it, and demand to know if the original factory parts are included in the sale. Next, inspect the tires closely for matching brands, ages, and load ratings. A cheap set of tires almost always reveals a cheap maintenance history. Finally, run a full PPSR and VIN recall check to uncover any hidden accident damage. Once purchased, immediately budget for fresh fluids, new brakes, and necessary suspension work. Remember, the best performance upgrade you can possibly buy is a standard car with excellent tires, fresh fluids, and no hidden accident damage.